Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you guys today? We have a short video clip from the NORAD 300 race. This was the 300 race. So they did two races on the Burma property of FRO, and then they did a third race over at the Darkwater. So it was 100 miles each race. So you'll see us recover Colin Cuz. He came down up over berm and ran into a tree. During the first lap of the race, he said it was going to be very dangerous there. So that was the one spot he was worried about, and he was right because he messed up there. With the NORAD race, even if you break or whatever, you can get towed back to the pits. You can fix your machine and either get back into the race, or you can turn around and get ready for the race the next day on their platform, because this allowed him to fix his car that night and go into the third 100-mile race on Saturday. When we got there, they were talking how it was going to be such a big scene and how it was going to be a hard one to recover with a little bit of thought, dedication, and time. It didn't take us very long, to be honest. So Colin's a friend of mine, and I've been trying to help him out a little bit here and there. So when I showed up and saw it was Colin, I gave him a wrath of crap, just stating the fact that, he knew he was going to crash there and he knew to be careful. There's Colin sliding right into the recovery. So what we did was, because it was up against the tree, we needed to pull back and over at the same time. So I T-boned it and backed into it, so that way, as I winched in, it would generally pull it back a little bit and to me. The biggest problem with it that we had is it didn't quite get it pulled back far enough to clear the second tire from the tree. So as you see here, I pull forward a little bit, and it's kind of caught up on the tree. So to combat this, we ended up using the drag winch, and we pull it up from the backside and winch it back with the drag winch at the same time as we winch up. So you hear him trying to put it down because he's worried about ripping that ball joint on the other side, which was fine. I was already planning to set the other winch up. That's what you just saw me hook up, or the winch remote for the second winch. Here we have another race car coming around us. This was the line they made. They closed off the path because they didn't want, obviously, someone coming down and racing into them. But you see how they come around. These guys weren't really slowing down when they were coming through here. So right towards the end, it got a little sketchy. I was trying to tell Colin to take that front end apart so we didn't damage it any more than he did originally. Right now you see me going up to rig the drag line to the tree behind him to winch it back. Take another racer down. So the NORAD Racing does all live recovery when the race is still going on. That gives these guys the ability to get back to the pits and put their cars back together, like I was talking about before. And it's probably, out of all the platforms of racing, probably the one I'm least comfortable with, to be honest, just because I'm not a big fan of being out there with the race car drivers, because they're trying to win, they're trying to race. Luckily, this spot was able to be closed off so we could do the recovery and not worry about getting ran over. But at the same time, it's one of those things where you got to be very careful about where we are, what we're doing at that time. And I always run the strobes because hopefully someone's going to see me before something bad happens when it comes to that moment. But you can see how people are getting really light going down that hill on the far side as they're coming around us. We had a little bit of mishap. The winch rope got caught between the shiv head and the outside of the thimble inside, and I wasn't quick enough to catch it, and I winched in, and it sucked down between the shiv wheel and the head, and it took us a few minutes to get it out, but we figured it out. Ended up having to use a extension and put it up over top, and then winched in on it, and it pulled it back out where we needed it. But you will find that I will never do that again. I will make sure that that rope. I don't know if it wasn't set right, or I don't know exactly how I ended up doing that, but I noticed it, and I figured it would go back in, and it didn't. So it took us a few minutes to fix that. Part of the job. We end up having problems like that. But now you see us, we're winching it back and up at the same time, swing it right around, pull it right in behind the truck. Set it down so we can finish moving the rest of the stuff around. And he's got these two lights that are on the front of his car. And I was trying to do everything I could not to damage them. He said don't worry about it, and I ended up damaging one light, um, and it fell off during the next day of racing. I don't know if it fell off because it got loose or if I broke the bracket a little bit, but he wasn't worried about it because they were just Amazon lights. So as you see, we have the peanut gallery looking on and watching us as well.
That's exactly how it's done. Or? This is why you're the guy for the job.
There, I'm putting the drag line on so that way it can't swing out too far behind the truck.
I got caught fucking 3 times, but I could have used the second goddamn winch.
Oh, sorry. This is the. Yeah, that's the drag line. I was right. Here comes another car around us. When we got this back to the Burma entrance, the race was pretty much over. So we ended up towing this car all the way back to camp, and hell, I actually sat there because Colin and I camped next to each other. I ended up holding the car up for most of the night while he fixed it. As you can see how far back that front wheel got knocked. It was actually just the ball joints that got knocked out. And he was able to beg, borrow, or steal the parts from another racer, actually a couple different racers, to be able to get it fixed. The last thing he had to find was a fine thread nut that he ended up stealing off his race trailer, the trailer that he used to haul it there. There we are carrying it off. Having the right equipment for the right job. There's a really soupy hole in the corner there. Had to get out and put it in 4-wheel drive because I was riding around most of the day and just in 2-wheel with the hubs unlocked. And then when I turned around in there, I had to put it in 4-wheel drive. way back. So we ended up following this guy because he said he knew which way he was going, and he took us a different route. And it was all because he wanted to see the truck pull a hill while it was towing. And I can't say I was mad about it, but I wasn't thrilled about it. This is the hill. And it's not that it was a crazy big steep hill or terrible like one way or another, but it was kind of rocky, annoying, where I knew the other way out was literally a haul road. So it could have been just a flat, quick ride, but this guy wanted to see us go up this power line hill. And I mean, the red truck doesn't miss a beat. It goes right up the hill. It doesn't care, but kind of one of those moments where it was like it would have been a lot easier if I just went the flat way back. Yeah, Colin's riding in it because he was using the brakes to if we go down hills. It's nice to have the brakes holding the car back so it's not riding up on the back of the truck. Yeah, see now the guy that was leading us is behind us. That's because he wanted to watch us go up the hill. And then we make it to the top. This is where we unhooked them until we took it to the we hooked it back up to tow it back. We actually going from Burma to Darkwater Properties, probably I want to say 6 to 10 miles on the road, and we towed it all the way back on the road. Colin was gonna go get the trailer, and I was like, "Don't even bother. It doesn't make any sense when I have to go back to Darkwater anyway for camp. So we'll just tow it back." I got the uh, yank rope stuck in his control arms because it wasn't a bright move. I didn't think it would get pinched in there, but it did. Got it out though. Damaged the rope very slightly. Like I said, quick, easy video. Doing something a little different. Showed a little bit of how we got the ability to use both winches on the back of the truck, and you can see the video tagged in this one below of me adding on that drag winch in the related videos. And that's the whole reason we put that winch on was because we were attempting to do jobs like this and only had one winch. So I would had to work harder. So adding the second winch allowed me to have that much more vast options, which then also helped the whole situation. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you like, subscribe, and everything you want to do. Be safe out there. Till the next time.